Hello everyone, my name is Cindy Melchert and I apologize for not being tech savvy enough to be able to edit this so you can see who's talking to you. But I am making some videos for the next card class at Scrapmania. The card class is called Farmhouse Market Card Class. That's a Cardabella 6x6 pad. The class is $24. The kit is $24 and it includes some videos on how to assemble it. Usually I meet face-to-face with my students to teach them how to assemble the cards. Each kit comes with full directions. You don't really need to have the video. I'm just doing the video for those who might need a little extra help with that. So the supplies you need before you get started is also listed on here. Double-sided adhesive, a tape runner, liquid glue with a fine tip, a brown ink with a dauber, detailed scissors for trimming, foam tape or pop dots. There's my tape runner. A couple of images need to be colored, so you'll need colored pencils or markers. They're stamped with amalgam ink, so you can use alcohol markers or you can use colored pencils with Gamsol. Either one will work. And that's all you need to get going. Everything's cut down to size for you. The price of the kit is $24 and you get the leftover half of the pad. So there's the pad, really pretty farmhouse pad, and you get the second half of it, which gives you enough to make another set of cards. I only use half of it for this set of 8 cards. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I don't want this to be too long. You can I'll have my email on in the kit, so you can email me if you have any questions. And the YouTube address will also be on there, so you can access how to put these cards together if you need that. Okay, this is card number 1. Also in the packet, I list all the, I don't know if I mentioned it, everything I use. So if you want a certain stamp or die, it tells you right there what it is. All right, so here's the first one. Try and make sure I stay in frame. That's why I've got the tape on there. Okay, I like to brown the edges of all my pattern paper. I'm using Ranger Distress ink, walnut stain, and a finger dauber. Any brown will do. The reason I like to ink the edges is that so you don't see the stark white edge, and it gives it just a nice border around it. I live right on a highway, so you'll hear plenty of trucks go by. Okay. I'm gonna get this out so it's easier. I have one of those piece of the non-slip shelf stuff. Makes it easier to ink up your dauber. All right. And you're just going to adhere the pieces to the matching pieces. In this case, this one to the green. Hope my desk isn't moving too much when I do this. Everybody's going to get seasick. Sometimes it doesn't go where I want it to go right away. I like to stand over top of my desk, but I can't really do that while I'm doing this video. So I am going to stand up. I'll be here all day trying to line it up. Okay, I'm going to trim that off a little bit. This particular piece goes end to end, so make sure you line it up straight from end to end. Here the base, the card front to the base, and nice and straight. Straight as I can. Make sure your card's going the right side up, and this will just go to the front wherever you want it. And your colored image. I don't have this one on foam tape, but you certainly could if you wanted to pop it up some. Card number 1. Card number 2. And they're numbered on the front sheet. And there's the finished product. Try and keep that right there. Okay, number 2. This one is a little trickier, so this is the one that you might actually want to follow along when you assemble it. I've attached all the bling that you need to the inside. And again, I like to brown the edges of the pattern paper. All the cardstock I use with this set is from Gina K. I really like the heavy base, the heavy weight of her cardstock. And I was able to find many of the colors that match this pattern paper nicely. just adhere the pieces that match the pieces. All right, so the brown to there. We'll do this. You know what, I'm going to brown the edges of this one. This is actually part of the pattern paper. So this is pattern, and we're going to use this side, but I don't like the white edge showing through the color. So I'm going to quickly, not sure if that's in my directions, but that bothers me. Yeah, it is, because if I said brown the edges of all the pattern paper, this is technically a pattern paper, even though we're not going to use the pattern side. Okay, here we go. This one. Okay, well, before I mess that up, this is where we, I have it written in the directions right. This is where we're going to actually stop before we attach this to the brown. We're going to attach this here in the corner so we can trim it before we attach it to the brown, so it has a nice brown edge around it. So I'm glad I caught that. I'm not reading the directions. If I were, the directions would tell you to do it the way I'm showing you right now. All right, so you just want to make sure it's hanging off all the way, like that. Okay, then you're going to flip it over. And you're going to just trim it. All right, now this will go on the brown base. So you have a nice brown border all the way around this piece. It's going to cause me trouble. It's so hard to do it with the camera above my head. Now this one goes edge to edge. So there's only borders showing top and bottom. Into the card front. And then to the card base. Right, and then I've attached your bling. You just put them on the sides here like this. There's no point in me doing that part for you. I think you know how to do that. Stick mine in there for later. Okay, let's do card 3. Maybe I can get 4 cards in and then do another video for 4 cards. So it's not, you know, you can scroll through and find the card you want to work on. in case you don't want to do them all in the same order. All right, this is card number 3. And again, your bling is on a little sticky. I gave you a couple. You only need one for what I have for the card itself, like that. All right. Okay, this is the, gonna make the frame. So again, we are browning the edges of our pattern paper. For the second video, I might do this step ahead of time. It'll make the video go faster, and everybody knows how to do this. And if you read your instructions ahead of time, you could prepare all your stuff if you need to have this video to follow along. That second card is, it matters on the order that you put things together, and so that's an important piece. There's another card that also has a certain order that it needs to be assembled to be done right. Kind of a bummer not having ladies do this with me. It's so much more fun when you craft with a friend or 2 or 3 or 10. So then you're going to assemble this to here. I'm actually not going to do the taping because I would like to speed this up a little bit. All right. You're going to use wet glue on the back side of this. It'll give you a little wiggle room to make it straight. I will do that. I will put that on the front. I have this little piece of makeup sponge here on the side so I can stick my pin in there and not lose the pin that I like to put in the top of these. And this is going to go centered right here in the front. It has some nice lines on this gingham that you can follow to get a straight gluing down on this here. Okay. Okay, then you can use adhesive or glue, whichever you prefer to this. It'll be easy to fit right inside there. Whoa, no, that's okay. I'll flip it upside down. And there we go, magic. Okay, and then you'll adhere this to there. I'll put a little more glue in that corner. There, sticking up. Adhere that to there, and this to the card front. Make sure you do it right so the card opens, and then you're going to put your bling right inside the center of the flower. Okay. Card number 4 is this one, finished product right there. Same as before. I've given you a sticky with some bling on it, or it's not really bling. This is just the dots, the enamel dots. There we go. Those are going to go inside the flowers. Okay, you're going to brown the edges. Again. I am going to do this one I use fine tip liquid glue again on the piece that I cut, the die cut flower, the black flower. There it is. This is going to be the frame for this piece right here. Again, I like to make sure I'm in the frame. I don't like the white edges on this pattern paper. Just blends much better when the white edge is not there. Gives it a little border when you're laying a light colored piece on top of another light colored piece. So that kind of helps to define the edges. Okay, so you're going to adhere these two together. Give it a little frame. This one I did put foam behind. Okay. Let's just go ahead and do this. Stand up. You can tell I struggle with that, as many of you do too. Some of you probably got it down to a science. Now this glass mat doesn't help. It sort of makes everything wiggle. Okay, and we're going to do this part first. We're going to do wet glue and stick it right here in the corner, just like that. Farmers are busy today. Okay. And then you stick it in the corner. Get a little wiggle, little time for wiggle to move it around. Okay. All right. Then adhere this with the foam. Corner, and then you're going to do it to the base like that, and add your enamel dots to the flower, the center flower, centers of the flower there, and then that one's done. Okay, I'm going to stop my video, 24 minutes, and then I will start a new one. I'm going to brown the edges of the pattern paper before we get started. I'll see you in a bit.